Chapter 6 Decimals. Decimals. Rohit, today I have learnt about decimals in the class. Can you explain me? The word decimal originates from the Latin word decim, which means tenth. Decimal number system is a positional notation with base 10, which was first used in India and was taken up by Arabs and introduced in Europe later. Tina, do you know about decimal place value chart? Yes, Mama. Just like the place value chart for whole numbers, we have a place value chart for decimals. Let me show you the decimal place value chart. In a decimal place value chart, we have a whole number or integral part before the decimal point and a decimal part after the decimal point. From this chart, we observe that the value of a digit becomes 10 times greater as it moves from right to left by one place and becomes 1 by 10 as we move to the left. The first place after the decimal point is got by dividing the number by 10. It is called the tens place. The second place after the decimal point is got by dividing the number by 100. It is called the hundredths place. The third place after the decimal point is got by dividing the number by 1000. It is called the thousandths place. Let's write 12.453 in the decimal place value chart. In 12.453, 12 is the whole number part and 453 is the decimal part. So, write 1 in the tens place, 2 in the ones place, mark point under the decimal point. Write 4 in the tens place, write 5 in the hundredths place, write 3 in the thousandths place. Expanded form of decimal number. Decimal numbers can be expanded in the following 3 forms: place value form, decimal form, fractional form. Let's expand 493.2 in all the above 3 forms. Place value form. In place value form, 493.2 is equal to 4 hundredths plus 9 tenths plus 3 ones plus 2 tenths. Decimal form. In decimal form, 493.2 is equal to 400 plus 90 plus 3 plus 0.2. Fractional form. In the fractional form, 493.2 is equal to 400 plus 90 plus 3 plus 2 by 10. Remember, when a decimal is missing either in the integral part or decimal part, substitute with 0. Like and unlike decimal fractions. 2 or more decimal fractions are called decimals if they have equal number of decimal places. However, the number of digits in the integral part does not matter. For example, 0.43, 10.41, 183.42, 1.81, 0.31 are all like fractions because they all have 2 decimal places. But 74.18 and 74.193 are unlike decimals as 74.18 has 2 decimal places and 74.193 has 3 places of decimal. Changing unlike decimals into like decimals. Can you change unlike decimals to like decimals? Yes, unlike decimal fractions can be changed to like decimals by adding as many zeros as required. For example, convert 93.419, 184.3, 413.23. All the above can be converted to like decimals by adding zeros as shown below. 93.419, 184.300, 413.230 are all like decimals with 3 decimal places. Equivalent decimal fractions. What are equivalent decimals? Unlike fractions which are equal in value are called equivalent decimal fractions. For example, 0.4, 0.40, 0.400, 0.4000. Since each of the above is equal to 0.4, so these are equivalent decimal fractions. Now, look at another example. 0.4, 0.04, 0.004, 0.005, 0.0004 since each of the above do not have the same value. So these are not equivalent decimals. Comparison of decimal fractions. Do you know how to compare two decimal fractions? No, I do not. Okay, fine. I will explain it to you with the following example. Which is greater, 12.0193 or 102.01? First check the integral part. We find 12 is smaller than 102. Therefore, 102.01 is greater than 12.0193. Which is smaller? 19.023 or 19.027. For each of these decimals, the integral part is the same. So, compare the tenths place. This is also the same. Check the hundredths place. That is also same. Then move to the next decimal place. Therefore, 19.023 is smaller than 19.027 or 19.023 is smaller. Conversion.
Children, today we will learn to convert decimals into fractions. There are 3 rules of conversion of decimals into fractions. Write the given number without the decimal point in the numerator. Write 1 in the denominator, followed by as many zeros as the decimal places. Then write the resulting fraction in the lowest form. For example, 1.5 is equal to 15 by 10 is equal to 3 by 2. 21.72 is equal to 2172 by 100 is equal to 1086 by 50 is equal to 543 by 25. Sir, can we convert fractions into decimals? Yes, we can convert fractions into decimals by using following rules. Count the number of zeros following 1 in the denominator. Count the equal number of places in the numerator starting from 1's digit, then place the decimal. For example, 819 by 100 is equal to 8.19. 6007 by 1000 is equal to 6.007.
Addition and subtraction of decimal numbers. Write the digits of the given numbers one below the other such that all the decimal points are in the same vertical line. Add or subtract as you add or subtract whole numbers. Put the decimal point to the sum vertically below the other decimal points. For example, add 14.02, 198.3 and 394.051. Solution. First of all, change all the decimals as like decimals. 14.020, 198.300 plus 394.051 is equal to 606.371. Now subtract 191.765 from 843.92. Before subtraction, change all the decimals as like decimals. 843.920 minus 191.765 is equal to 652.155. Multiplication of decimals. There are 3 rules to multiply decimal fractions. Consider all the numbers as whole numbers, remove the decimal and multiply. In the product, place the decimal point after leaving digits equal to the total number of decimal places in both numbers. Counting must always be done from the ones place of the product. Let's learn to multiply a decimal fraction by a whole number. For example, 43.5 multiplied by 4 is equal to 435 multiplied by 4 is equal to 1740. So, 43.5 multiplied by 4 is equal to 174.0, which is equal to 174. Now we will learn the multiplication of a decimal by a decimal. For example, 1.2 multiplied by 1.2 is equal to 12 multiplied by 12 is equal to 144. Now we will place the decimal after two digits of the product from right, that is 1.44. Multiplication by 10, 100, 1000, etc. Look at the following examples carefully. 834.7 multiplied by 10 is equal to 8347. Here we have shifted decimal point one place to the right. 98.26 multiplied by 100 is equal to 9826. Here we have shifted decimal point two places to the right. 793.41 multiplied by 1000 is equal to
7,93,410.
Here we have shifted decimal point three places to the right. In each and every one of these examples, the decimal has moved to the right by as many places as the number of zeros in the multiplier. When the number of zeros is more than the digits after the decimal, then that many zeros must be added to the product. Properties of multiplication of decimal numbers. I want to learn the properties of multiplication of decimal numbers. I will explain to you. It's very easy. All the properties of multiplication hold true for decimals. The product of a decimal and a whole number multiplied in any order remains the same. For example, 0.9 multiplied by 12 is equal to 12 multiplied by 0.9 is equal to 10.8. The product of two decimal numbers remains the same even if the order is changed. For example, 2.5 multiplied by 3.5 is equal to 3.5 multiplied by 2.5 is equal to 8.75. The product of a decimal fraction and 1 is the decimal fraction itself. For example, 1.092 multiplied by 1 is equal to 1.092. The product of a decimal fraction and 0 is 0. For example, 891.56 multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. While performing multiplication in decimals, the numbers can be taken in any order and the product remains the same. For example, 1.02 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 11.2 multiplied by 2.3 is equal to 105.1008. And 11.2 multiplied by 2.3 multiplied by 1.02 multiplied by 4 is equal to 105.1008. Division of decimal fractions. Division of a decimal by a whole number. There are two rules of division of a decimal by a whole number, and they are: divide as division of whole numbers. When you reach the 10th digit, place the decimal point in the quotient. For example, divide 100.4 by 25. Divide 100 by 25. 100 divided by 25 is equal to 4. Write 4 in the quotient place and 100 below the dividend and subtract 100 from 100. 100 minus 100 is equal to 0. Now, there is no whole number left, so mark a decimal point in the quotient place. Bring down 4 as 4 is not a multiple of 25. Put 0 in the quotient after the decimal point. Now, divide 40 by 25. Put 1 in quotient place and 0 and 25 below the dividend. Subtract 25 from 40. 40 minus 25 is equal to 15. Put a 0 after 15. Now, divide 150 by 25. 150 divided by 25 is equal to 6. Write 6 in the quotient place and subtract 150 from 150. 150 minus 150 is equal to 0. Thus, 100.4 divided by 25 is equal to 4.016. Division of a decimal fraction by 10, 100, 1000, etc. We can divide a decimal fraction by 10, 100, 1000, and so on by the following methods. While dividing a decimal by 10, 100, 1000, etc. That is,
multiples of 10.
the decimal shifts to the left by as many places as there are zeros in the divisor. If the number of places in the integral part is less, then put the required number of zeros to the left of the integral part, then shift the decimal point. For example, 71.6 divided by 10 is equal to 716 by 10 whole divided by 10 is equal to 716 by 10 whole multiplied by 1 by 10 is equal to 716 by 100 is equal to 7.16. And 923.07 divided by 100 is equal to 92,307 by 100 whole divided by 100 is equal to 92,307 divided by 100 whole multiplied by 1 by 100 is equal to 92,307 by 10,000 is equal to 9.2307. Division of a decimal fractions by the multiples of 10, 100, 1000, etc. For example, divide 245.1 by 30 in the following manner. Division of a decimal by another decimal. Can you explain me the division of one decimal number by another decimal number? Yes. Explain it with the following example. Let's divide 1.296 by 0.108. 1.296 divided by 0.108 is equal to 1,296 by 1,000 divided by 108 by 1,000 is equal to 1,296 by 1,000 multiplied by 1,000 by 108 is equal to 12. Therefore, 1.296 divided by 0.108 is equal to 12. Is there any alternate method to solve this division sum? Yes, we can solve it by the following method also. Count the number of decimal digits in the divisor. Move the decimal in dividend that many places to the right. Write the divisor without the decimal. Now divide the numbers as usual. For example, 14.7 divided by 2.1 is equal to 147 by 10 divided by 21 by 10 is equal to 147 by 10 multiplied by 10 by 21 is equal to 7. Division of a whole number by a decimal. Can you explain me the division of a whole number by a decimal number? Yes, it's very easy. There are 4 rules for division of a whole number by a decimal. They are: count the number of decimal digits in the divisor. Add as many zeros to the dividend. Remove the decimal in the divisor. Divide as usual. For example, 42 divided by 0.7 is equal to 420 divided by 7 is equal to 60. And 8,133 divided by 0.003 is equal to 81,33,000 divided by 3 is equal to 27,11,000. Now, see the division of 3,421.83 by 3,000. Conversion of fractional number into a decimal number by division. Do you know how to convert fractional number into decimal numbers? Yes, there are 3 rules for converting a fractional number into a decimal number. They are: if it is a proper fraction, write the numerator as a decimal. If it is a mixed fraction, convert it into an improper fraction. Divide as usual. Add as many zeros after the decimal to the numerator as required to complete the division. For example, write 7, 5 by 8 as a decimal fraction. After division, it will be equal to 7.625. Simplification. Daddy, can you explain me simplification in decimals?
Yes, my little boy. simplification in decimals can be done with the BODMAS rule as in fractions. For example, 3 divided by 16 plus 1.2 multiplied by 1 by 4 minus curly bracket open 1 by 5 plus small bracket open 1 minus 0.8 small bracket close curly bracket close is equal to 3 divided by 16 plus 1.2 multiplied by 1 by 4 minus curly bracket open 1 by 5 plus 1 minus 0.8 curly bracket close is equal to 3 divided by 16 plus 1.2 multiplied by 1 by 4 minus curly bracket open 1 plus 5 minus 4 whole divided by 5 curly bracket close is equal to 3 divided by 16 plus 1.2 multiplied by 1 by 4 minus curly bracket open 6 minus 4 whole by 5 flower curly bracket close is equal to 3 divided by 16 plus 1.2 multiplied by 1 by 4 minus curly bracket open 2 by 5 curly bracket close is equal to 3 divided by 16 plus 1.2 multiplied by 1 by 4 minus 2 by 5 is equal to 3 by 16 plus 1.2 by 4 minus 2 by 5 is equal to 15 plus 24 minus 32 whole divided by 80 is equal to 7 by 80 is equal to 0.0875.
Rounding off decimal fractions. Now we will learn about rounding off decimal fractions. If you have ever been entered in a Bata showroom, the cost of a pair of shoes or chappals would probably read 249 rupees and 95 paise. But we pay 250 rupees, that is 249 rupees and 95 paise has been rounded off to 250 rupees. Similarly, when we say that the population of India is 2.5 billion, this is not the exact number. The number of people must be close to 2, 1 by 2 billion. Hence, it has been rounded to 2, 1 by 2 billion. The above method is convenient and helps us to remember very large number easily. It also simplifies calculation of large numbers. Rounding off a decimal fraction to the nearest one. While rounding off a decimal fraction to the nearest one, if the digit in the tens place is smaller than 5, then the tens place and all the following places are replaced by 0. For example, 49.37 rounds off to 49.00 since 3 is smaller than 5. If the tens place is equal to or greater than 5, then the digit in the ones place is increased by 1 and all the following places are replaced by 0. For example, 96.872 rounds off to 97.000 since 8 greater than 5. Rounding off a decimal fraction to the nearest tenth. When the digit in the hundredths place is smaller than 5, the hundredths place and following digits are replaced by 0. For example, 14.732 rounds off to 14.700 since 3 is smaller than 5. When the digit in the hundredths place is equal to or greater than 5, the digit in the tens place is increased by 1 and the following digits become 0. Example, 56.897 rounds off to 56.900 since 9 is greater than 5. Rounding off a decimal fraction to the nearest hundredth. When the digit in the thousands place is smaller than 5, the thousands place and following digits are replaced by 0. For example, 189.434 rounds off to 189.430 since 4 smaller than 5. When the digit in the thousands place is equal to or greater than 5, the digit in the hundredths place is increased by 1 and the following digits become 0. For example, 27.987 rounds off to 27.990 since 7 greater than 5.